What's up, everybody? Jeffrey Lyles, Lyles Movie Files. Yeah, today is celebration day here on Indoor. The Death Star is just blown up, and I checked in live. Looks at Bespin, Philly, New York, Cloud City. Everybody's looking really good. It is a great day. The Empire is falling, destroyed, and there's no First Order to replace them. Hopefully. So, what's up, Jace? How are you, little brother?
Well, I can report from Naboo, everything is looking great over here. How about you?
Great, Chief. What's going on your end?
I'm wonderful, man. Just enjoying today. Today's a beautiful day.
Yes, it was this weird feeling because normally we record the show on Wednesday, and it was like this timing was so weird because whenever we recorded, it was going to be super late until we had some sort of knowledge in terms of the tone for our show. Typically, this is Lyle's Movie File, so we don't go too deep into politics, but we're not going to stay here too long on this episode. But yeah, this is a good day, and we've been watching a man-child throw an extended temper tantrum for the last few days, complaining about things not being fair. So it's really nice to have some conclusion to this, and the poetic justice of it happening in Pennsylvania. Chief, what do you think?
Man, I am. I'm just, I'm looking for leadership from the president, man. I, I, I can't believe that we, as a country, had finally got to the point where we was just like, let everybody catch it, and who dies dies. Like that was the plan. Um, So it's good to be out of that. It's good to be. It's finally. I just want to see somebody be presidential. You know what I mean? Um, like as a person, let me ask you, as a person, when you see like a homeless person in the street or somebody who's going through it or having trouble, when's the last time you argued with a person like that? And so, but you know what I mean. But as a president, he would argue with a person like that. He would be like, I'm just gonna go ahead and argue. And I'm like, dude, as a president, every argument isn't your argument. It's okay if you walk away from arguments or just, but he couldn't help himself, man. It's been a bad 4 years. Nothing got done. Uh, nothing got accomplished. Uh, my taxes went to a horrible place where I don't get any money back anymore. But other than that, I mean, what has he done? And then, like I said, we're here in the middle of this pandemic, and there's no leadership. And I think I knew that not only that he turn Americans into either Republicans or Democrats, but not simply just being American, but also, I mean, it's just a guy in office with no plan other than to make other millionaires money. So here we are with that. So today's been a good day as far as maybe just seeing, uh, just at the very least, some leadership and compassion come from uh, the president of the United States.
Nice. Jace, as a fellow HU grad, we get to celebrate something pretty cool because we have an HU grad as the first female vice president. What are you thinking about this?
Honestly, I couldn't, and I'll say this very honestly, she was like my choice for president when the primary was going on. And because, sorry about it, but like going to HBCU gives you a certain sense of the world and how awesome we can be. It's like how, what's it, sorry, it's, but it's like kind of like Wakanda and like all the awesomeness that black folks can be going to an HBCU and Howard University especially. So to have somebody who has that kind of background close to, I mean, like is the vice president, that's kind of telling you, it's like, all right, decency is actually in the house. It's like, hey, we will actually care if 250 people, 1,000 people die, and we won't just act like, it is what it is. It's like somebody who's gonna try and actually help everybody, and that's why I just like I'm super excited. And the other thing I think I'm also excited about is next year there are going to come days we don't even think or hear from the president, and I am going to be so ecstatic about that. We're just not going to hear a random tweet from somebody trying to say me every 5 seconds like a small child, and I am super ecstatic about that.
Absolutely. Okay, like I said, not Lyles political files, but I mean it'd be kind of stupid and weird to not address the orange elephant moving out of DC as a result of today's big news. That said, let's transition back to what you guys probably expect to hear from us. Let's get started with Mandalorian. First two episodes have come up for season two. It's nice to watch a Star Wars show where continuity matters, where something happens in season one and actually has ramifications and consequences in season two, despite the fact that it's not the same director. And the director's vision is not the same as the previous one. Oh, wait, sorry, that's just the recent movies. Fellas, what have you thought about what we've seen from The Mandalorian season two so far?
Sadly, I've only seen the first episode. The second episode is queued up after now that I don't have to worry about politics for a bit. But the first episode, like the guy who had Boba Fett's armor on, like I thought I was like talked to you last week. I'm like they could actually do a spin-off series about like a random Tatooine cowboy mayor, and it's like I would watch that show. Um, and then you see Boba at the end. He's like, "Wow, we don't know what Boba's doing." Like, oh, this could be years of storyline to talk about. And I mean, it is actually has been fun watching the show just because it's like the stuff that we saw last season has ramifications. This is good. It's like I don't have to ask, hey, why has nothing changed? But it looks like it's continuing the exact same thing, like the previous. I mean, like those Disney trilogy movies. So I'm looking forward to seeing the next episode.
Chief, are you caught up on it?
I saw episode one. I haven't watched episode two yet. Episode one was real decent. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, but hell, we're looking forward to any decent Star Wars show right now. I mean, the Star Wars product hasn't been as good as it used to be as of late. So, yeah. So, episode one was real decent. Like I said, I haven't seen episode two, but I'm looking forward to the season of the Mandalorian. So, I'm hoping if it's if it's 3/4 as good as last season, it'll be a great season. So, let's get into it.
Yes. And I have been diligently,
All right.
yo,
No, that's not you. Go ahead.
okay, been trying to be patient in watching Rebels so I could have some Star Wars content. And this way I could have something to watch when Mandalorian came. So I finally finished watching Rebels. And that show just confirmed to me that the people that Kathleen Kennedy had working on the films probably should have just been Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Because as we've seen with Mandalorian, as we've seen from the final season of Clone Wars, and as I just saw in the last two seasons of Rebels, these guys get everything that makes Star Wars special. And with them leading that sequel trilogy, I think we could have had something really special. And I feel like with the characters that they created, they could have managed the transition from Luke, Han, and Leia much smoother and had a lot more fun and not have the old school fans resent what was going on with these new people. So, Jace, what do you think about that in terms of just what they've done, Favreau and Filoni in particular, and how they could have made the Star Wars movies better?
This is another conversation we had offline, but one of the things is like given like there's a difference between being liking a movie and actually being a fan of the story. Like I can say, hey, I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, but I also know I didn't read I didn't read all the Lord of the Ring books. I didn't read. I mean, like, because there's like, I mean, just the books have like giant amounts of information that just isn't in the story. I mean, in the movie. But trying to do that in Star Wars, I mean, I mean, like, yeah, like Star Trek. I couldn't make it. I like Star Trek movies, but I couldn't make a good Star Trek. I couldn't make if you gave me the keys to Star Trek, I would screw it up big time. I'd be like, I wouldn't know what to do with a Borg, a Klingon, or Romulan at all. I would just be lost. And I think that's what they did with the sequel trilogy. It's like they gave it to guys who are like, oh yeah, I like the movies, but they didn't understand them. It was like, but Dave Filoni and John Favreau, they understand the source material, and then it gets you can start with like just a Finn character and that being your start, and then they say, hey, here's one character I got. I want Finn to be a lead character. And they'd be like, okay, that's my guy. I can go with a perfect Star Wars trilogy from this one guy. Or if you want Rey to be this, like, hey, she's the daughter of what Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I mean, while I was on Tatooine, he was having some fun. From there, we could literally make a Star Wars trilogy that would have been great with either one of those two guys. And it's unfortunate that Kathleen. I mean, and I give her credit. She recognized this sadly after the trilogy was over that she just didn't understand it, and she gave it to people who didn't fully comprehend the work. But unfortunately, that hindsight is 2020, and now you got. I mean, the basic divide is called the Skywalker saga and the Disney trilogy. I mean, the Disney trilogy, and that's unfortunate because we're not going to care about any Star Wars movies that don't have those two guys attached to it.
Well, that's not true because I like Solo, really like Rogue One. I just think they may be better suited on the movie front, just doing standalone films with newer characters.
Sit down.
What do you think?
For whatever reason, my mute button is ignoring me. And I keep hitting it. It keeps unmuting itself. And I think you're right. Rogue One was good. Solo was decent. Even though I read somewhere something about the actor who did Solo didn't want to do it again or something. But yeah, these Star Wars movies, they can you can have a decent movie, but I mean, you definitely have to put some thought into it, and definitely have to put some thought into like where the timeline is, and what these characters are, and what they're, you know what I mean? I think sometimes they just throw a movie together and just be like, no, we're gonna make money off of it. Just throw it to them. And the reality of the situation is, people are into these movies. They study these movies. They read books about these movies, or they read books about Star Wars in general. I remember I never was a Star Wars person. You know what I mean? I knew that there was Star Wars, and then when you say Empire, for the second movie, you better say Empire. But they have books like going back through time with the Siths, and people know all these things. So if you don't take the time to do a movie properly, people are gonna notice. And unfortunately, you took the best characters from the series and didn't do a proper movie. And people noticed.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about some other stuff, but since I have you two on here, I know we'll have a good discussion on it. I rewatched Man of Steel this week and watched without any context of like, oh, this is how I thought they should have done with it. Because I've watched the Nolan Batman films about a couple weeks ago now, and so I was like, hey, let me watch Man of Steel again. I like the movie clearly. Been a fan of the DC films. Some more so than others. But I really rated Man of Steel high when I saw it the first time, and when I watched it again this week, I was like, yeah, this is a really, really good movie. There's some things that kind of clash with what I think a Superman story should be, but from a real world perspective, I get why Jonathan is like, nah, dude, you can't show anybody what you do. They're going to lock you up, they're going to put you away, and you won't be able to have a normal life. And I get that because, I mean, gosh, that's just reality, right? And but I was just watching. It's like there's so much good here. Like the fight scenes. I mean, we've never seen a Superman fight scene where he just got to go for it. And maybe there's a little bit too much crazy destruction of everything, but man, it was fun watching Superman just fight and fight against people who have powers like him, and where he could just go for it and they could go for it, and he didn't have to hold back. That was really fun. I don't think Amy Adams is a perfect Lois Lane, but I think she's such a good actress that she can overcome maybe not the best casting. Like Kate Bosworth could not do it in Superman Returns. I didn't buy her as Lois Lane for a second. Amy Adams, I'm like, well, I don't know if you're the best fit, but you're good. So you can make it work. And I love Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. There's just so many good elements to it. And I just feel like the direction in which they took the franchise, most notably with Doomsday and the last act of Batman versus Superman, is kind of a turning point to a certain degree. But what do you guys think about Man of Steel? Like, what are your like top two things that you really liked about it, and two or one thing that you would have changed most? Jason, let me start with you.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna say what I really liked about it was the cast. I really did like the cast on that. Unlike Dawn of Justice, I actually, I like. I mean, I think Amy Adams. I think she did a really good job in that role. I mean, I agree with you. Kate Bosworth was not the way to go. She was not Margot Kidder's successor at all. But I mean, that would definitely be my one thing. I mean, action scenes. I don't even think they were overblown. I think the action scenes were great in that because he, like I said, he's going against a bunch of people from Krypton. They're not going to be like, throwing people into a car and the car barely moves. Like you're not, yeah, like you're going to see, I mean, Ursa throw him in through like three small towns because that's what kind of power she is. And she has, I mean, they don't have restraint. They just like, no, I'm going to use every drop of this power I got. And also can help you later on say like, wow, this is how much strength Superman has. The I'm trying to think. Your rating on that movie was 8.5.
No. Let me pull it up. I think I gave it a 10.
Okay. Well, again, as I said, like I kind of say, my three problems with the movie are Kellen Zod and problem, and I think, well, I'm sorry, my two big problems are Killing Zod, and I think the score of the movie is horrible. I think
Really? That's so funny because man, I was like, man, this movie, the score really gives it a sense of importance where it's like, dun 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 dun. I'm like into the score, and I don't know if you just like watch it where you have to keep the volume low or whatever, but man, the score is like it makes it feel majestic like Superman. Now about your other point with Zod, I feel like if he had been Superman for a few months, he would have come up with a different solution. But that's basically his first day as Superman.
yeah, I mean, like, and as I kind of mess around. It's like, well, I always thought they were going to come up with some sneak way to throw Zod back into the Phantom Zone. Like there, that one small part, if you just throw him in there, he'll be sucked into the Phantom Zone, and then that'll be the end of Zod. I mean, which of course leads into the stupid of making Zod Doomsday, which looks like my way was probably a better way to go. But I always thought soundtrack was so just boom, boom, boom. It was like there was a point where it's like if it was more subtle, it would have been better. And then when you had those big giant like him fighting Zod, it's like yeah, okay, this is when you take it up a little bit better. I mean, a little more. So those are my two problems. Everything else on that movie I think was great.
Chief, I know you're a huge Man of Steel fan. What were the two best parts? Was one or two things you would change?
Well, contrary to Jason, I like the fact that he killed Zod. Because you didn't expect that coming. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Superman killing somebody? What? So I mean, and my man was adamant. He was like, "I'll never stop." You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was.
So,
He was going
so
off.
yeah, it's not like he was like, "Well, all right, Superman, I yield." It was like, "Nah, listen, I'm never gonna stop. You're holding me. I'm still gonna point my eyes at this family here and kill them." Um, you gotta forgive my bird, man. He's
He's
crazy
going
loud.
off.
Yeah, I think he thinks I'm talking to him. So he's talking back. Let me see if I can step into this other room here. So uh yeah, so that's my point. I like that part. I did enjoy like their origin story. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I thought it was a decent origin story from what we used to. Kind of showed him how he had to learn restraint,
Mm-hmm.
his learn his powers, how he got a few Joe jobs before he ended up as a reporter for the Daily Planet.
Right.
Uh, you know what I mean? Just the things that he had to go through in order to grow. You know what I mean? Because I think
Mm-hmm.
when we watched it, he went from high school to the damn Daily Planet.
Yeah. We didn't
The
really see
Christopher
college
Reeve
life.
joint. There was no in between. There's no real in between. Um, so I like that. And then, like I said, the fights were epic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, it showed him fighting the big Kryptonian.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
just it was all around good. The things I would have changed, you know, I like the movie, man. I had to change people's. I wish I could have changed people's perspectives going in. Like I don't know
Mm.
what they were looking for. That Christopher Reeves kind of campy Superman or the letdown of like if you really just get into the story, it's a good story.
It
I don't
is.
know why people wanted it. It was like it was too dark, and I'm like dark. It wasn't dark. It was just Superman. I don't, you know what I mean? Like we watched the Avengers. The Avengers is dark. Superman,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Real dark.
Yeah. So
Like every movie, somebody gets killed.
right, every movie somebody gets killed. Somebody who's your favorite gets killed.
Right.
One of your favorites. It's just one of those things where I just wish people had enjoyed it more instead of the hate on it that they gave it. I thought it was a really good, really really good movie, and I mean the Superman was cast right. I mean we were
Mm-hmm.
always fussing about who the hell like Robert Pattinson as Batman. I'm still not with that. I mean I wasn't with Ben Affleck as Batman. You know what I mean? So it wasn't those. I didn't like Ben Affleck. So um, perfect Superman. Lois Lane was cool. I mean, she's a great actress. Um, Fishburne's and everything. He's like, like almost like Samuel Jackson. Um, and like I said, man, it was just a good plot, a good plan. You got a little bit of Krypton with my man Crow.
Russell Crowe. Dude, that Krypton scene.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that in just long enough so when I rewatched it, it was like, whoa, this is really cool.
that's what I'm saying, man. It was a good movie. And people were like, but I'm like, from like pretty much, it was always something going on. So there wasn't too many lulls. You didn't get bored with the movie. it was a good movie, and I just wish, if anything, I would have changed people's perspectives going in. Like, yo, clear your mind of whatever Superman you had. This is the Man of Steel. We're gonna go in. We're gonna, and just enjoy it for what it is. And it didn't happen that way. But hopefully, we'll get to see, it run back in a Man of Steel 2 or something.
Okay, Milan. And a weird thing, do you think maybe some of their perception was like folks' perception before they came in on the movie was off because of the Superman outfit?
Problem with the Superman outfit, man. The Superman outfit is, it's not that bright, campy, red, red and blue and yellow joint from, it was. Yeah. If you like, when I watch it on my TV, it's kind of shiny. If you look at it, it's
Yeah.
like it's kind of a shiny outfit. It's
Yeah.
it has darker colors, but the colors kind of sparkle in a way.
They're very reflective. Yeah.
Yeah. So and if you let like that, so he had cool boots on. They weren't 1980s California. I'm out here partying in these type boots. Um, yeah, you know what I mean. Like if you watch, right, you ever watch Jay Chappelle and Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories? And he's like, man, in the 80s and 90s, this is what y'all wore out there in the clubs. And that's how the 80s boots was. They was like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? You could wear that in the club as a guy with a blouse. You know what I mean? These boots was more, like his whole outfit was just more manly, I thought. It wasn't no bright colors. You know what I mean? It wasn't bright colors. It was kind of toned down, yet the sun made them pop. Almost like candy paint. You know what I mean? Like when you watching it, as soon as the sun hits it, it comes alive. So,
Yeah.
I mean, people hated the outfit, but get past the outfit, get in the movie. You know what I mean?
I think he just needed like the red belt. I
right,
think
but
that was
this
all
the
they
thing.
needed, just to break up the outfit a little.
Right, but
yeah.
here's the thing: you hated Superman, and you complained about the outfit, and then you love Shazam, and I think Shazam's outfit was the weakest one of the bunch. It was phony. It was puffy. And I'm just like, yo, how does that work with the Superman outfit you hate and the Shazam outfit is all love? Like his chest stuck out like 2 feet.
I was like, cause it was like you could have met if you could have gone like the middle ground of like Avengers costume colors with that Superman outfit. I think it would have been like if you just showed that on a promo. I think a lot of people would have came in with a better attitude towards Superman, and then they would probably come like closer to what we were versus I hated it that they ended up with.
Yeah, I think the problem was there was some residual hate on that Green Lantern outfit, and people were like, "Why are you making it more complex and complicated than it need be?" But I think to the Chief's point, watching it on a big screen with a good picture, and maybe some theaters just aren't as good as the home TVs now, but you can see and appreciate all the detail that's in it, like all the texturing, and when you think about it, his mom didn't make that suit. I mean, that was just like hey, this is packed in from dad. Here you go. And that makes the alien type nature of the outfit make a lot more sense. So that's what Zod and all the Kryptonians are wearing. And for him to rock that, and without the pants, because that's not what they wore on Krypton or the shorts. But yeah, I liked it, and it was just weird because like you watch a movie and you like it, and then you don't watch it in a while and say, "Whoa, this is so much better than I remember." And it just had me so excited for like the next part. And I'm like, yeah, I like Ben Affleck's Batman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, but that whole Batman and Superman conflict really needs Ultimate Edition to really get going. And I think not putting that version in theaters or not cutting out whatever they needed to get that same amount of runtime for theaters to tell the actual full story was DC's biggest mistake with this movie series so far. Because if they had just run the Ultimate Edition or cut out some of the stuff that we don't see paid off until maybe the Snyder Cut comes out. Man, like, good grief, that was some missed opportunity. But anyway, I just want to talk to y'all about that real fast because I was just like hype and just said, hey, let's talk about it with the two heads that I know love this. Now let's continue on with Warner Brothers. So apparently Johnny Depp is now out of the Fantastic Beasts uh, franchise. He was in the first one in the last second, and he showed up in the second one as the main villain. And apparently, this Amber Heard drama was too much, and Warner Brothers was like, "Yo, we need you to step aside. We're gonna recast the role." He did, no problem. He's still engaged with this thing with Amber Heard, who is apparently filming scenes in the Snyder Cut of Justice League. So I don't know if that says anything about where Warner Brothers stands on the whole Johnny Depp business. But yeah, so he's out. Jace and I have always been like, there's no reason to take Colin Farrell out of that role because he was excellent, one of his best performances. But now they're gonna have to recast. What's what's the little boy's name, Jace? Because clearly I'm not gonna be writing a Harry Potter movie.
Grindelwald. Yeah, Grindelwald. That's all I have to know.
Right. Thank you. What do y'all think about this? Should they have kept him on when all that stuff first came out? Because I feel like that second movie came out like right around the time all these allegations came, or is this the right call to recast the role
I think I don't know if they were 100% sure they were going to recast it until like he basically sued like a paper in London to say these allegations are false, and I
now?
think after kind of the preponderance, they kind of said the allegations were substantially true, and after that, it's a whole lot easier to say, oh, okay, if these allegations are true, yeah, then you need to go.
Okay.
Versus, I mean, before, because it seemed like at one point there was kind of a conflict on whose side was actually legit.
Right.
I'm not sure. I mean, again, I'm not the lawyer and I have not delved into the pleadings on either of this, but it's like without knowing that full, I'm like, I kind of I would go Warner Brothers route. And then based on one judge, it's like, it's a lot easier to say, hey, I can just recast versus one judge. And hey, if it's not, we all go our separate ways anyway, but I'm willing to, go clean and, go start the next thing. But then again, I still got to deal with J.K. Rowling's opening her mouth, so I might have to just start the whole thing. So.
Right. It's like him with his wife is one whole issue entirely, but J.K. Rowling is just machine gun blasting away a wave of super intolerance. So it's like, wow, okay. Chief, what do you think about this? And did you note how Jace slipped into lawyer mode, or was that just me?
That's what lawyers do, isn't it?
I mean, man, I was like, whoa. All right,
I thought he was gonna, start talking some lawyer's jargon that I was gonna be searching the dictionary for. Here's the thing: did he do it or didn't he do it?
It's not clear.
See, and that's my thing. On one hand, I get it. You might cast him in the role, and just as the movie hits, the allegations become true. But here's the thing: I definitely don't agree with casting her in the movie either, because if
she's not casting her in the movie.
Oh, I thought somebody said that she was going to be in there.
No, gosh, no.
Just her running her mouth.
I was about to say. I am all for 100% if it's true. Him being out the movie, any abuser, any man, putting his hands on a woman, if it's true, I am 100% for whatever punishment they get. I just don't like the idea of stripping someone of everything before we find out if it's a yes or no. Because that technically, that's to me that opens up a whole list of people just coming out and just, hey, somebody did this to me, somebody did that to me, and people saying, well, you're fired or you can't do this because these allegations were brought against you. So I don't know if he's guilty or not, and if he's found guilty, I get it, and um, I just don't, I liked him in the part. I mean, Depp is a hell of an actor, and he plays, he gets some great roles. I'm not sure if stripping him was right, if he didn't do anything, if she's angry with him or whatever the case may be. And now, wholeheartedly, if he has done these things, yes, you can't put bad press onto a movie. People will not go to that movie just because of the things that he done, and that's that's their God given right. You don't have to, people do wrong. You don't have to support them with your money. But what if he didn't do it? What if he's losing roles now because he didn't? I remember while back the Talking Dead guy.
Oh yeah, Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, so he was accused of something, and they pulled him. Wow. I mean, it was like, he did such and such, pulled him, and then these things were found out to not be true. And I was like, gosh, dang, they didn't even give the dude, you know what I mean? No, you know what I mean? Like you've got to stop jumping on a side before these things are found to be true or not. Uh, and I get it. You got to make the movie before it comes out, and maybe the movie hits May 23rd, and then maybe they go to court on the 15th of May, and you know you can't take that chance. I get that. Like, hey, listen, man, we can't take that chance. But if that's not the case, if the movie comes out and he's not doing court for another 2 years, you got to cast him, man. It's just, he's not. He's just been accused. You're innocent until proven guilty. That's just how it goes, and people don't like to take that stance anymore. But technically, that is the stance.
Well,
Um,
kind of like these allegations were out almost like as soon as the second movie was out, and they didn't pull the movie. It's like now that there's like kind of this blank slate before they start filming again. It's like, why not pull him now versus finding halfway through the filming and then we find out it was true.
I
It's
mean, yeah, I get it, Gates. I just, like I said, if it's coming to, yeah, if it's coming to the point of film, I get they gotta pull him. I'm just, uh, I just hate the way that it's going down if he's not guilty. I liked I liked his character. Um, I'm hoping that he didn't abuse old girl. Um, you know, really, so we'll see, man. But is it gonna be as good without him? Who knows? Maybe nobody knows he's gone. Um, it is what it is, I guess. This it's just it's how we are nowadays.
Right. All right. So we haven't seen episode one, but apparently Loki has already been greenlit for a second season, which is good news for people who like to start a show and then get pissed off when it gets canceled. But since this isn't on NBC, I guess we didn't have to worry about that. Disney Plus knows how to make money, and it's all about that sweet, sweet content that we all crave when it's time for subscription renewal time. What do you guys think about this?
a great thing. It's like, I mean, I don't have to worry about like a Swamp Thing kind of situation where I don't even bother get to watch the first episode before I know it's already trash. I mean, that's a great thing. Like, oh, all right, okay, you guys trust in Loki enough that you guys already know that it's a way to go. I'm good. I'm glad to see it. I mean, I still have no idea what the whole storyline is going to be, but that I mean, that's also intriguing. It's like, I mean, did we have like a straight up comic book Loki? Because he's the dude after. I mean, Loki's probably going to be the Loki right after Avengers versus the one from after Thor Ragnarok. So it's like, oh,
or the one after Thor Dark World. He is completely shady Loki.
yeah. So we got. I mean, that's like I mean, like a complete vacuum of stuff he can do, and he has a Tesseract. So it's like, what mess can he get into? Oh, I'm really intrigued.
Oh, you're right. He does have the Tesseract. Oh, that will be fun. Chief, you can get Tenet on Blu-ray and DVD in 4K on December 15th. So, do you feel bad now about not going to see it in the movie theaters?
I'm gonna run right out on December 15th and check the mail and come back in and sit back down on my couch. Um, uh, I had no real interest of seeing Tenet when it hit theaters. Certainly after 4 months have gone by, 3 or 4 months have gone by. I still have no interest. And when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever the case may be, I will not. Um, and just and maybe because I don't know if y'all know this, Jeff. We've known each other for damn near 30 years, if not more.
Wow, that's a minute, Chief.
Yeah. And Jace too, because I mean,
Yep.
Well, bro,
yeah. I mean, I am petty, and my pettiness knows no bounds. Like I'm the type of dude on Facebook when it's my birthday, I screenshot everybody who wished me happy birthday, so that when their birthdays come around, if I'll look through and see if they text me happy birthday on my birthday, and if they didn't, I don't give them shit. I don't like that's me. Like that's how petty I am, and it's not even like that's not even the depths of my pettiness. So when they were like, "Well, we're gonna throw this in the movies, and we're not gonna put it out for you to watch at home," I was like, "Oh, okay." So I felt slighted by that. I felt like you want me to go out and die to watch your movie. Now that you were like, yeah, we're gonna throw it out on DVD, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm not even going to make the attempt to watch the movie. If it's on HBO or Cinemax or Showtime in the next couple months, sure, I'll sit down and I'll watch it. But after I think you try to kill the American people to watch it. Like, nah, you can keep that money now. I would have if you had thrown it on Amazon or something, I would have bought the movie and watched it here at the house. But I don't like the way you went about it. I don't like the way you was like, we're gonna put this out anyway. You know what I mean? The hell with y'all. And now I'm like, okay. Oh, it didn't do well. Oh, well, rush it to DVD. Okay. Well, you can keep on rushing, partner, because you'll get none of my dollars.
Still waiting for you, Jace. What do you think about this?
hey, again, I'm not saying I'm petty, but I've definitely was like, hey, this is the route you guys should have gone. You could have bent my $30 3 or 4 months ago by putting this on, direct to video. But you didn't, so you lost that money. And then I'll probably get it. I mean, I'll get it on Blu-ray, but it's like, and that's only if sometimes you have to advertise exactly the day I feel like buying a movie for me to even remember it's out. Like, oh, Tenet's out. I guess I should watch it finally, since you guys are stupid and released it in theaters just to try and see if we can make a couple of bucks to make Christopher Nolan happy. Like, no, I'm good. I'll enjoy it when I can. So holler at me in December.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for today. So, fellas, do you have any nominees for Dummies for the week?
And I think I got 70 million dummies. But, I think that pretty much that number says it all. Those are definitely my dummies of the week.
Chief, you got any?
Nah, I don't think I have any dummies of the week. This week, man, it's been just so loco coco for real. And I haven't been able to concentrate on anything other than who the hell's gonna win this damn thing going forth. Um, and I'm still really, they're like, yeah, my man's gonna be the winner, but I'm I'm still kind of like, I'm gonna wait and see. You know what I mean? My
You're
man,
gonna
my
go
man,
patient.
my man, my man. He's a wily bastard, and I think he probably, he's got some tricks up his sleeves or something. I don't, who knows, man. So we'll see, man. Dummy of the week, man. What else is? I don't even know what else has happened this week. So,
Nothing.
you know what I mean? Like, what else is going on? Maybe the Raiders. Who knows? Like, hey, you failed COVID protocol. Everybody's getting hit with a fine and a loss of a 6th-round draft pick. That's the only other thing I saw this week. John Gruden. I didn't even hear what he was saying. I just saw him talking and I read the caption. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, we're about to wrap up, but we got a special guest popping in. Gunner, we talked about things, but what would you like to say about today's big news?
This is cool. Every Howard alumni that you know is about to act a fool. Don't pull this HBCU crap on us. Just say Howard. That way you save yourself some grief. That's the only thing. Black folks, we still got work to do to make sure they do earn our vote that we voted overwhelmingly, despite some headlines here and there. All of us, black women, black men, we all voted pretty overwhelmingly. So let's make sure we hold them accountable for the next 4 years and not just sit on our hands. That's all.
All right.
Gunner.
That's good.
What up?
That's going to do it for us on this way. Thank y'all out there for rolling. Thank y'all for listening. This episode of Lyles Movie Files has been filed.